The funny thing on that intro, that mule that jumps in my trailer, you don't see me cussing and throwing stuff at it because I went to load it up and it took off. And it ran around my truck and trailer and ran around, and then it ran back to the trailer because we rode her hard. So she knew she was going home. She went back to that trailer and jumped in on her own. I thought I was going to have to chase her down.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Squirrels. Jared? Where'd Jared go?
I'm here.
We're going to switch it up tonight, Jared.
Talking about squirrels, huh?
Yeah, I want to know how these guys run. I've been running Stinker, so I'm out bear hunting. Is that my dog barking? Oh, dogs won't shut up. And so I got Stinker on, trying to get her on Squirrel. So she's getting to a point where she sees him out the window. She gets all crazy. She don't jump out the window. I open the door and she'll go chase him to the tree. And she's doing all right locating once she hits that tree. And she'll keep an eye on that tree. But I guess you guys call it timbering. You know, Chris was like, do they timber? I'm like, oh, what is that? And you jump from tree to tree. And up here in the pines, they jump tree to tree. They just, you know, Jared loves these tall trees. Jared loves them.
I hate them. I hate tall trees.
I find it a lot easier hunting than these deciduous trees. That's for sure.
If the squirrels were down in the cedars, it'd probably be a lot easier because they're easier. They're only like 10 or 12 feet tall.
Yep.
But man, they get up in those trees and like they lay flat or they get in that little bushy spot. And you either have to throw rocks or, you know, tap the tree, something, try to get them to move if they're even in that tree anymore. Because I seen one go up a tree today and there was a long jump. I didn't think he had made it. I even shot up in that tree and nothing moved. I think he skipped out on us. So
I've actually done a lot of squirrel hunting out there in the west, hunting ponderosa pines. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know,
Hi.
I'm not no professional dog squirrel hunter either. I just got this. I was actually mad at her the other day because I was out we was running a bear, was free casting, and she'd go out and come back, go out and come back. I'm like, you stupid dog. And I thought, oh wait, I bred this dog to kind of be my truck dog even around me. So I'm like, dang, I guess I'm getting mad at her for something I bred her to do. And she does pretty good. Today, Dirty started a track, Dirty and Yucky, and they went another way. And then I seen Stinker take off with her nose down, and she opens, but her open is she squeaks. She's a squeaking dog, and she's 150 miles an hour. I'm all, God dang it. I said, Stinker, get over here. And Stinker came back over. And then there goes Dirty and Yucky. It started it backwards, I think, turned it around, and there they go on that trail Stinker was running. You know, but I was telling Chris, I said, I don't know if you've ever had this happen, Jared, but I had a bear treed 15, 20 minutes, man. I seen it treed. It ran like a bear. It was Dirty, Yucky, Lucy, and Ben and Bella had 5 dogs on it. I told Chris 4. I went around. They were right next to a road by a creek. I'm like, yeah. So I hauled butt. My dad beat me there. Well, he called me on radio. He goes, hey, you got dogs out? I said, yeah, they're headed this way. And I said, I think they're down by this road right here. He goes, yeah, I can hear them. So he pulled in, was just listening to the tree, waiting for me to get there. Mm-hmm. And I was pulling up. I was a minute away, and I see him scattering. I'm like, what are they doing? Like scattering. I get it. My dad said, those coyotes rose hell down there. I don't know if those coyotes came in because they started fighting them, or I've heard before.
I've had dogs trail coyotes, and then you'll have the coyotes turn around and chase your dog, start yipping, and they start doing the challenge bark and all that shit.
Well, they were down the creek, so my dogs were treed. He was there for like 5 minutes listening to him treed. Mm-hmm. You heard the coyote down the creek, and then they just came in. They were mad. But that happened to him last year in the same spot. I think there's a den right there or something, I guess.
Was that a red wolf or not red? Mexican gray wolf or whatever? They're not very big.
No, these are just coyotes. You heard them yipping like a coyote, and they were mad. And they came in on the tree with my dogs yipping. So I don't know if the dog got distracted and I messed up and the dog scattered and were doing whatever. Dirty actually went north. So I thought, oh, maybe it came down, went north after they got, you know, but I didn't go check the tree. That son of a gun may have been sitting there in that tree and my dogs were messing around. I called them to me.
Yeah.
I shut down. That old bear was probably like, look at these stupid idiots.
Right.
So I just came down and left when they were distracted. I don't know. My dogs don't leave me. You know what I mean? They stay treed you. But my dad said they were treed. They were treed good too. And then coyotes came in kind of fast and hard. And next thing you know, there's like some scuffle going, some turf war, I guess.
Yeah, all that shit happens.
You got a dog in heat? I said, man, no, I don't. But I don't know, man.
That's usually when I have coyotes.
What's that?
So that's usually when I have trouble with coyotes, trying to hunt a dog in heat.
That's what I've heard before too, and I don't think I have any in heat. None of my other males are acting like it.
When I have females in heat, I got the girls out in the kennels and everything. Them coyotes would come right up to the fence and start barking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wanted to bring a coyote to my hound and see if I could get a good dog out of it. So, yeah. Oh, a dog. What am
I keep male dogs, so I don't have to worry about it.
Man,
my
females hunt so good. My females hunt so good.
I'm very partial to a female dog.
Do you feel why? Why?
They just
harder?
got it. In my opinion, they just understand you better. They work for you better. I don't know. I just have better luck with females, I guess. My grandpa was kind of
easier to start.
I have better luck with females. Like Annie Oakley, come here. This is my top dog here, and she's a house dog. She goes with me everywhere. She's fucking 100% accurate. She's treed well. When we lived out west, we treat a lot of gray fox and squirrels. Just before my divorce and I left, she did get under her first bobcat. And I don't know. I got a couple of males. They're kind of knuckleheads. I like females.
The males just seem like they're so busy trying to mark their territory all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. And a female, when you let her down, she don't worry about where to shit. She just wants to like get hunting. You know, they'll go out and pee and clean out, but get hunting. I brought Benny on just so he could talk trash about us squirrel hunters. I think Brett made an excuse not to come on. He says he's busy tonight. I don't know if he is. I'm gonna send him a link anyways, just in case.
I bet he doesn't have any service.
Did he go?
Yeah.
All right.
He had to go.
He's doing the forestry thing.
Yeah.
I'll send him a link anyways, just in case he hits a little spot of service and we can make fun of him.
An old timer once told me about the difference between a male dog and a female dog, how the male dog's always jerking around and the female gets down to business. He said, just look at the way we were when we were in school. The girls were always the one getting the perfect grades, and the boys were always cutting up, looking for the attention of the girls.
That's a fact, too.
Yeah.
That's 100% fact. So, Case for West Side Baron. Oh, we should have got him on. Squirrel Dog. Anybody know that guy?
Who's that?
Cass River Ranch, West Siberian Lake. What are you guys using for squirrel dogs?
I got mountain curs.
Oh.
I've got a tree and cur and a mountain cur. Go ahead.
Is that the go-to dog? Is curs when you come to squirrels, or?
If you want just a squirrel dog, I think a lot of people prefer Feist.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, it depends on your cup of tea, I guess.
I think that's what it boils down to: what type of dog you like and what you want to do.
Yep.
Well,
I
if you're
got-
squirrel hunting and your squirrel dogs accidentally catch a bear, you don't need a Feist or a rat terrier.
102 in Phoenix. 102 in Phoenix today.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was overcast today. I would still be out right now. I would have never came in if I didn't have a live, and it was perfect. But there's no. I think I was talking to Chris already, but there's no food or water here right now. It's really dry, and those bears. I think I just compared a picture to a guy. I caught a bear in August, and he just caught a bear in Friday, and it's the exact same bear. You know, it's just a little bear, and I think another houndsman caught the same bear because I heard him on the radio saying they didn't even unload the dogs yet, and the bear treed. I think they just ran across it. So this little bear just likes the tree, and the one guy that I talked to that treated Friday, it was bedded up. He seen it. It got up, ran about 100 yards. He heard it crash through a barbed wire fence and then go up a tree. And he let it. His dogs aren't like, he's training his dog. He lets his dogs out. He goes over there and they're lost. They're like running around, don't know. And that old bear started chomping and hissing at him and moved up the tree. And that old bear, and then they seen it and started treeing. So I've had 2 races and I've had 2 trees, and something's going on. And the one, I don't know, maybe I'm just treeing fox or coyotes or elk or something. Who knows? Who knows?
I ran a bobcat off a deer kill one time. Thought I was hunting a lion. And the dog's treating this big old ponderosa up top, way up high in the Santa Ritas, and I get up there and I'm looking, and I don't see a long tail hanging down. So I go to yelling and beating dogs, thinking they're false treeing. This is back when it was legal. I put a trail camera. I came back and put a trail camera on that kill. Came back the next day, and it was a bobcat eating that deer. I felt bad for my dogs after that. I didn't think about that one. Because I didn't even look up the tree that hard. I just expected it, since it was a decent sized deer. I thought it was going to be a lion, but I screwed that one up for him.
Man, so tell us a little about squirrel dogs. Squirrel dogs.
See, my tree and cur and the mountain cur, 2 totally different types of dogs. Because the tree and cur, he's half tree and walker and mountain cur. And the people that bred him, or that line of dogs, I guess, they said they wanted dogs that handled like curs but hunted like hounds. And he does hunt like a hound. I cut him loose, and he's got a big nose, but I never worked with him to actually track squirrels. So I just cut him loose. He'll blow through a 100-acre patch pretty quick. So I've got to hunt him in pretty big timber. Whereas the cur, like I was telling you earlier, about 250 yards, that's deep for him. He'll hunt that same patch out. Look on the garment, it looks like a big squiggly zigzags, where the other dog, he kind of straight lines a little bit.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
So you guys kind of hunt them like raccoons then? You just dump dogs and you sit and wait?
Yeah. Well, I like to walk hunt with him, so I'll cut him loose. The cur, like I said, he'll hunt out a little bit, 250, and if he hasn't got nothing, he'll come back in and we can move on together. The tree and cur, just like a coonhound, I cut him loose, and when he's treed, I go to him.
Yeah. Okay.
My dogs are kind of the same way. I don't use tracking collars. They go where I go, and unless they're on something. If I want to go, say up over the hill to the next timber, they follow. And they, just like you described, kind of close, and they do a lot of zigzagging. Like some people would say they hunt harder, but it's just a different style. It's just a different style dog.
Do they? You guys do a lot of competitions over there? I know they have that big squirrel cook-off. What's that? I've heard Clay Newcomb them about it, but
I just learned about that a couple months ago. I really don't know about
We rode our dogs
we've got-
for squirrel.
We've got clubs, but there's like an hour and a half south of us. So I've never. My daughter's done the bench shows, the treeing contest. She likes that kind of stuff, but I like the pleasure hunt. I like to do the dog thing. So the competition, I never even tried.
Okay.
I'm the same way. Me either. Never been to one. I experienced one in New Mexico on it's just not my thing. Yes.
So they work it. I wonder if they work. You guys don't know nothing about those. I wonder if they work it like the autumn oaks, all them coon hunting contests.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I still like to watch and keep up with a lot of those guys. It's fun, but like I said, not in my area. And with my daughter, I'm out doing all her stuff so much. So traveling to go do that gets put on the back burner. So
Kids do that to you, right?
yeah.
Let me see here. I don't know, man. Tell me when I was a kid that a female dog is in heat 6 weeks out of the year, but a male is in heat 12 months.
Yep.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So, what other dogs are they using besides the curs? Like, have you guys used anything else, like the Feist or the? I'm using a mini border collie hound mix. Is what I'm using.
Well, you could register that dog as a tree and cur or X-bred.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of the competition guys are getting into the adding bird dog, hound, and cur.
Yeah.
Pretty much creating a competition dog.
Most guys that I know that strictly hunt squirrels, it's either Feist, a cur, or there's a new style dog. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Lycia. Russian dog, looks like a little mini husky or something.
Yeah, the Lycas. Darren Petty out of Indiana, he hunts them. And then
I
there's
guess
the fella in Virginia that bear hunts.
Yeah. So those are the three big dogs that I know that are tried and true dogs, I guess you could say.
So you guys hunting a lot of private land? Where are you from, Zach?
I'm originally from Iowa, but I moved to New Mexico when I was in my 20s. And I just recently went through divorce and moved back, so kind of back home in my stomping grounds.
Yeah.
My grandpa was the hounds his entire life, for about 40 years. And then a guy from Ohio brought some mountain curs out and turned him onto those. And it wasn't very long. By the time I was born, he had sold every hound and got his curs.
Yeah.
He had fights for a little bit because he was trying to perfect a good combo dog, which a mountain cur, they're very good combo dogs. And then I just kind of took off on what he told me, and I've never had anything but a mountain cur. Never owned a Feist. I've never had a hound. These dogs do what I love, and I guess I like what I got. Don't need to look elsewhere.
So did you hunt New Mexico for squirrel?
Oh yeah, a lot. That's why I was saying I would prefer squirrel hunting out there versus here.
Why is that?
It's easier. I think it is. It's because of the trees are triangle. So when they timber, they're timbering through the air, and that gives them dogs a lot of time to see that squirrel. A lot of open. Versus back here, if there's many leaves on the trees, it's very hard for a dog to follow a timbering squirrel.
Oh, their field of view is a lot better.
Yeah, and this is only my first year back here in Iowa. I haven't squirrel hunted here since I was probably 19 years old. So I'm kind of relearning all this over back here. I've been out squirrel hunting a few times, and yeah, boy, they timber and they've been giving my dogs some troubles.
What do you think, Benny?
Been coon hunting a few times, but they nail them. Coons don't timber.
what
I
do
think
you think, Benny? If those lines timbered across those trees, be a lot harder.
uh,
They're a little
uh,
bit bigger though.
well, I had a lion switch trees on me, cottonwood trees down in the bottom of the in the creek bottom, and this lion's intent was to go to the bluff, jump across to that bluff, and leave us all behind. But until you've gone somewhere like where he's talking about Iowa or anywhere where they have a lot of trees, you can't really fathom being out here in the West what he's talking about. I lived in Council Bluffs, Iowa for 2 years, and I've been all over Nebraska and Missouri and Kansas, and where they've got trees, you're not going to see anything going through the trees hardly. They can get those trees get so thick together that it's not like our pine trees.
That was another thing I was going to mention. I forgot how thick a walking it is here. Out there, everything's open. It's easy. I mean, granted, you got elevation and rocks to get over, and there's not the elevation here, but just the sheer busting brush. I forgot what busting brush was about.
A lot of the places I hunt, I get to hunt there because nobody else wants to go there. They're that briars and mulberries. It sucks, but nobody else goes, so I'll do it.
Buckbrush and raspberries and rose bushes, and yeah, welcome to Iowa.
And then you got Manzanita, right, Jared?
Yeah, Manzanita.
Oh my God. Yeah. But
I don't
man,
care if you're on a mule or walking, that Manzanita will slow you down.
in all fairness, Manzanita doesn't come with stickers.
That's a
Sure.
fact. And it's brittle.
Down here, we got that cat claw.
Ugh.
That
A little
you get in
tiny.
those big, yeah. You get in those cat claw patches, and it sucks. Yeah, you won't have pants by the time you get out.
I have some up here, and my dogs ran through some of it yesterday or day before, and they had those little stickers, look like bee
Yeah.
stingers, all and
Yep.
everything.
But they're curved.
Yeah,
got a little-
it looks like a cat claw. They got
Looks
that
just
little.
like
You know, I had one. I was going into a bear tree one time. I was going in a bear tree, and I had one pop me right in my eye, man. Put a little bubble in my eye. Ugh.
I'm
So,
glad I
Yeah.
don't got that around here, I don't think.
No, that
Arizona,
cat claw.
everything pokes you in Arizona, man.
Yeah.
Choya is the best.
Oh yeah. That shit sticks to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Chris knows what choya is. You ever hunted out this way, Chris?
No, I haven't.
Where you from? Where you at?
Illinois, Central Illinois.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got grass and green and rain and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, sometimes.
We don't get it ever.
Yeah.
Man, it was cloudy today, and I'm like, and it sprinkled, and I was happy. Felt like I was in a hurricane.
Yeah, you pray for them overcast days out there, man. At least I
Yep.
did.
Mhm.
Yep, that's a fact. And it was overcast today, and man, you just don't want to come in when it's overcast. Like I said, the only reason I came in is because I had to do a live.
Yep.
So nice day.
The company I worked for previously was based out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we had a guy come up, and him and I ended up driving up to Rockford for a training class. And I met him at the shop. Well, when I got to the shop, he jumps out of the truck, big bug-eyed, and asks about a storm. And I said, "What storm are you talking about?" And he looks out at the sky, and it was cloudy and the wind was kind of blowing, which was normal for here. And I said, "We're not having a storm." He goes, "You're kidding me." I said, "No." He said, "We got wind like this in Louisiana. We're in trouble." I said, "No, that 22, 25 mile an hour winds, that's normal."
That's like where I live up here. It's
Yeah.
sometimes it just don't stop blowing for the whole spring. The whole spring. Just
Arch
you look
Madness.
across there, and it's dusty, but it's not dust. It's pollen coming off the cedar trees. It's just yellow clouds. You can see the smoke. Looks like smoke coming off cedar trees. The wind's blowing so hard. So yeah, I don't think squirrel hunting in Arizona, New Mexico is a big deal, like it is. But it's the same with coon hunting. We don't have those big competitions. It's kind of big game here. It's all big game.
Yeah.
Whenever I was out there hunting, I got asked 2 questions. What kind of dogs are those? And what the hell are you hunting? And they couldn't fathom I was out there hunting squirrels. They'd never heard of it. And then they asked, well, do you eat them? Heck yes. They thought I was crazy.
That's what I had. That's what I had for lunch today.
I was gonna say back east, it's a pretty normal thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that those competition squirrel hunts take the charm, fun, and the relaxation out of the hunt?
I've never been on a competition squirrel hunt on a cast. I've been on some competition coon hunting casts, and I think it depends definitely on who you're with, because some guys are pretty serious about it, and to them, they're not going to help you do anything. They're not going to tell you any rules or any of that. They're there to win, and that's it. And then you got some times where guys, it's kind of like a pleasure hunt, but it's a competition. So I think it really just depends on who you're with, on how that goes.
Do they have squirrel hunting trials like they have coon hunting trials?
I believe so.
I don't think
the OMPA,
really?
They have a bit of squirrel deals.
Well, you got the
all
clubs.
I've ever seen are I've only ever seen the treeing contests, the bench shows, and then the hunts.
When I was in Arizona, I went to 2 coon trials. Just a buddy of mine was into that stuff, and he wanted me to go, and I went, and I looked around, and I said, I don't think I need any part of this. And he said, why? What's the deal? I said, where's the fun in this? I said, hell, how come there's fist fights? He said, there's fist fights every weekend. And I said, there you go. When I'm out hunting by myself, I've never had a fist fight.
Hard to fight yourself.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I argue with myself out in the woods quite a bit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 20 lion hunters getting together and dropping 20 different dogs together?
Oh, wow.
Nobody, absolutely nobody would catch a lion.
No one catch a lion, and guns would get drawn over who's talking shit.
Yeah. Whose dog started what fight?
Yeah.
Whose dog? Yep.
Some
dog's trashing.
Oh, yeah. As soon as the one dog trees a chula, a monkey, everyone's going to be fist fighting each other.
So what's the...
So far as at a Game and Fish Commission meeting, I used to go to them all the time. And there was a guy he was a range rider on White Sands Missile Range. It was really a pretty cush job. And he had hounds, and he got to hunt the missile range in the San Andres Mountains because he was an employee. And so he thought he was pretty big business. And at this, I don't remember what set it off, but at a Game and Fish Commission meeting, he said something about my dogs. I probably didn't even have any dogs that could trail something,
Couldn't catch a cold.
I blew a cork. This was probably 25 years ago. I blew a cork, and this guy was like 6'4", and I said, I don't care how big you are, but we're going to end up down here in the dirt out in the street. I said, and when we get done, after you heal up, then we'll take our dogs out. You take your 3 best, and I'll take my 3 best, and we'll hunt them side by side. And whichever dogs don't perform, the other person gets to shoot them. All right. Boy, he never talked to me again.
Took offense to it. Give me a good barrel squirrel recipe, or give me a good squirrel recipe.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, Mountain Daily Star wants to know. I fry mine.
I fry mine, bake it in cream of mushroom soup.
Really?
Yep.
So
I eat
shouldn't
them.
use
I eat them any which way.
you shouldn't dig the bees out of your oil you've had on the stove over here in camp and fry them again. That's how I've been cooking them. Dirty old oil.
It's just meat. Cook it however you like it.
See what else we got. Oh, Brett. Did Brett decide? He probably didn't want to come on because he's talking about squirrels.
Nuttier squirrel.
There you go,
turds.
Benny. There you go, Benny. If you ain't fist fighting, are you even really hunting?
It wasn't. We weren't hunting. It was there to fight with the Game and Fish Commission.
Well, close enough. So how do you guys start your dogs? Getting them going on squirrel.
Take them to the timber. And I mean, hunt them with an older dog is the easiest way. That's how I don't do the squirrel feeders and all that. I just go hunting.
Put them under some trees.
See, my tree and cur, I started him kind of like you do it. I did coon hounds. I showed him one squirrel in a cage. He barked. I think he was 3 months old when I showed it to him. I wanted to see if he was gamey. That's all I wanted to see out of him. He barked at it, I let it go and he treated it. So after that, kind of like Zach said, I just started taking him to the woods. And then around the house, like when we'd be outside, I'd see squirrels and I'd get him, call him to me or whatever. We'll get him to the point where he'd notice that squirrel and then he'd want to take off. So more and more we did that. Again, taking him to the timber like Zach said. And all I think I had to do with him. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it don't take long. When you're hunting, you knock a couple out to them. It's if you got a dog with half a brain, they figure it out pretty quick.
That's what I was going to say. All you really got to do is let them know what you want them to do, and they'll do it.
I mean, with
my
dog.
So you guys do a lot of.
I was going to say, how do you keep them from eating the squirrel?
Say that again.
How do you keep them from eating the squirrel?
That can be tough. It depends on the dog. Annie, if she's by herself, she'll actually retrieve. She'll bring it right to me and drop it at my feet. But if I'm hunting with another dog, she's very possessive. Yeah, I got to get to her. Yeah, she'll swallow it whole. So maybe you guys got some tricks to help me out with that.
Electricity, because mine, they bring it right back to me.
Yep. Bird
every
dogs.
now and
I have
again.
a bird dog, and go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say every now and again, I'll let them just have one. Just let them eat it. Just let them have,
Like I have a bird dog that he was doing really good, and then he jumped in a canal and he was swimming, and then he had that bird in his mouth, and he was swimming a lot. So he's getting tired and he's coming across again, and he's like drowning. And he ate that bird, and once he ate that bird, he tried eating birds. So I had to kind of. He ate another bird, and I literally put my fist down his throat and yanked it out of his stomach, and he, kind of punished him for it, and he quit doing it, and then I quit feeding him the heads off it. So he'd get real mad about that. So once he started retrieving them again and dropping them at my feet, I throw him a dove head or whatever. So he kind of quit chewing them again. I don't know about squirrel. Stinker she don't chew on them. She'll throw them in the air and play with them, and that's it. She don't want to eat them.
I have some dogs that love it. They'll eat them every chance they get, and other dogs, they treat them more like coons. They just kind of mouth them and play with them.
Yeah, that's the mountain cur. He won't eat one.
So you guys are just free casting for the most? Like where I'm at, you could drive around. Man, I seen 100 squirrel today. And I only shot 2 of them in the end. I said, "Oh, we'll shoot a couple squirrels." to eat, and but you just drive around, and she would watch out the window. I'd say, "There it is," and she'd look over. Once I opened the door, she'd go after that squirrel. That's how I've been kind of training her. Once she sees them, I let them go.
You had a decent dog. You're seeing that many drive around. You just drop out. You'd be surprised how many more are in that area. Do you have?
Well,
the
you said
Ponderosa, the Aberks? Is that what you're talking about, or what kind of squirrels you got out there?
I don't know, big old gray squirrel.
Yeah, what it is, Chris.
Those are the Aberts, I bet you.
Yeah.
What is it?
They're called
Oh, are
Aberts.
they? Gray squirrels, all we call them here. I'm not into the squirrel thing, so.
Kind of got the tufts on their ears.
Do they? A little bit. Got a big red stripe down their back.
Yep. That sounds like
real pretty.
Yep. No, I kind of miss that hunting.
And snappy. I don't know if I want my dog baying copperheads, but I don't have that problem up here.
I don't either.
So mostly you guys are free casting, just going out, going out in the woods.
Timber and dump the dogs and go for a walk.
That's exactly what I do. It just depends which dog I take. One, cut him loose, and then I got to take off with him. The other one, we walk together.
Yep.
This Minx 95, he was out here hunting in Arizona, and I bumped into him and stopped in camp and talked to him. Thanks, Chris, for talking to us and being so courteous. One of the nicest undercover guys ever.
I'll guarantee.
How you get in with people.
I'll guarantee that one.
I guarantee it. Got to get your info. I got to get close enough to get a tracker on your car. What that guy? I didn't get to eat squirrel when I was there. Well, come back. We didn't. A squirrel wasn't when you guys were here.
Were they at the rendezvous?
Yes.
If they would have had some
I think
of
that's
that,
Robert Chase's wife.
if they would have had some of that butterscotch drink, it would have. They'd have thought they had elephantitis squirrels.
Yeah. It is. It's Robert's wife.
Tell Robert.
Yep, come back. It's open. It's open for the rest of the year. Squirrel's open the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure. So, what is this? Had a, what is that? A Carolyn bear dog as a squirrel dog. She ate every one she could. We didn't get that either, the butterscotch. Hell no. I still got that in my fridge. I'm afraid to bring it back here to bear camp because I'll make it back home if I drink that quart of butterscotch moonshine.
You can use it for fire start.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, I just kind of got in just letting a dog. Always wanted kind of a squirrel dog just to go out with. And Stinker's doing all right. But I don't know, man. She's been doing good on those bear tracks too. So
in my eyes, you
just gonna bounce around.
Get a good squirrel dog and take that kid squirrel hunting. You'll light a fire under the kid's butt. Or at least that's what turned me on when I was a kid. It's exciting. A lot of excitement.
I never knew people hunted squirrels with dogs until I was in my late 20s.
Really?
Yeah, we'd coon hunted, had beagles, but late 20s, I got a full cry. And first time I read that full cry, I said, holy crap, you could do this with dogs? We always just walked, sat. I never knew you could do it with a dog.
I was blessed with a grandpa that
squirrels
had dogs a long time. So I kind of had somebody show me the ropes.
Show you the ropes?
Yeah, I definitely didn't get that. Like I said, I don't know anybody in my area that squirrel hunts with dogs. So everything I do out here is all on my own. Because Zach, you were talking about taking out dogs with older dogs. I have hunted my two dogs together. Well, the cur was actually my daughter's pet. She tricked me. Her mom and I got divorced. She wanted her own dog, and I told her, because Hickory, the tree and cur, would have been 2 years old at that time. And I said, not until he's 5, let him get settled in, and then we'll talk about it. About a year later, she comes to me one night and says, hey, Dad, how old is Hickory? And I said, he's 3. We're not getting no dogs until he's at least 5. She goes, I know, you told me. And then she says, well, how old is he in dog years?
Oh,
I said,
Lord.
son of a gosh, you got me. So I bought her the cur. I asked her, she was 7 years old when we got him. She's 13 now, but when we got him, I asked her, do you want to hunt him? And she said, well, no, I want to raise the dog, learn the obedience stuff with him, and just have my own dog. I said, okay, that's fine. She's a good kid, so no problem. I was taking Hickory out, and two years ago, I guess I'm just getting soft in my old age. I felt bad for leaving the cur at home all the time, so I just started taking him with me. Well, he would never do anything at all. If he would have been my dog at 2 years old, I'd have given him to Jesus. Well, at the end of the season, right towards the tail end of the season, Hickory was treed. He was about 300 yards out, and I could drive around a little bit to get closer to him. So we did. We got out, and I'm listening. Start to walk in. Next thing I know, the cur tree's squirrel. Well, he's treeing. So I stop, go to him. Sure enough, he's got a squirrel. So I shoot that thing out, and I thought, well, heck, if you're going to do that, I'll start taking you by yourself. So last season, I started taking him by himself, and I never showed him squirrels, never did anything other than just taking him to the woods, like you said. And he ain't the best squirrel dog. I think if I could hunt him 3 or 4 or 5 days a week, he'd be a lot better. But you could take him out and tree squirrels with him.
Well, you said you didn't take him out till he's about 2 years old. Imagine if you were taking him ever since he was 4 months old.
Oh, no, we took him out all the time, just not hunting, I guess. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying.
There's a guy in South Carolina that's got his litter mate sister, and he started her, I think, pretty well when he got her. And she's a lot further along than he is. So I'm pretty sure, like you said, if we'd have started him, actually tried to start him, he'd be a little better dog. But
I think that, like, I've had a kind of an experience like that with an older dog. I just got back into dogs here before the pandemic. After my grandpa passed, there was quite a few years where I didn't have dogs. And I picked up an older dog. He was 3 in Nebraska and spent his entire life in the kennel. And I just took him hunting, and about the 4th or 5th time out, he had treed, and he's an okay dog. But I always felt, kind of like you, if I would have had him when he was 4 months old or 6 months old or even at a year old, I probably could have made a heck of a dog out of him. But, sitting in a kennel for 3 years, just like a kid, a dog is able to absorb so much more information when they're a pup. Once they hit a certain age, kind of like us, learning becomes harder. And I could be wrong, but that's kind of my thought on it. But on another thing with these curs, they're hardwired. They're just like a Labrador. A Labrador is bred to retrieve. It's hard to find a lab that won't retrieve. These curs, they're bred to treat.
Yeah.
It's hard to a cur that won't treat. Now, granted, some of them are a total different caliber than others, but generally, they'll all treat.
But see, the cur, even here at the house, because I'll turn them loose out behind the house. Like we get home, go outside to do chores or whatever, I turn them loose. Well, the cur had every opportunity to do something. So that's why I said at 2 years old, I'd give him to Jesus because he didn't do anything. Hey, man, Jesus loves free dogs because he's never given me one back yet.
Nope. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. That's just funny. He said, people are always like, "Hey, where's that dog?" I said, "Oh, he's hunting with a buddy of mine."
Big tall
I
pines
found a
guy.
home. I found a home for him. He never turns them down either. It's crazy.
No.
So,
Goes
Yep.
to the ranch.
yep. Robert, you found a spot at the park.
Yeah, with service.
With your wife's on here talking crap.
I know. She's at some training up in Fort Collins.
Oh my gosh, be careful. You have any idea what goes on at Fort Collins?
I lived there for a
Any
year.
fort.
Now it's a bunch of dope smokers. That's what goes on mainly up there.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Big time.
What do you think of all this squirrel hunting stuff, Robert? Do you do any squirrel hunting besides driving around and seeing one and shooting it?
Just the ones that get into our shop that piss us off and chew
but
on fire stuff. But our squirrels aren't worth hunting. I tried to eat them when I was a kid. You might as well eat pine bark.
the squirrels in Leadville are those
Huh?
big gargantuan brown ones, aren't they?
No, hell no. They're these little bitty gray ones. Their tails are bigger than their bodies.
Oh, I thought maybe you
They're like a rock squirrel?
those
Yeah,
marmots.
I don't know what kind of squirrel they are.
I thought
Huh.
you'd have marmots up there.
I don't know.
Maybe-
When I cook
No,
mine,
we got marmots and whistle pigs. Yeah, got a lot of them.
I don't know. I like squirrel, but I deep fry mine or in a skillet, and I kind of get a little burn on them.
Yeah,
So I think
I've
you
only
got to
had
put.
I've only ever had good squirrel one time, and that was when we were down in Oklahoma. And we had squirrel and dumplings, and it was really good. Just a sec, I got puppies getting into the truck.
One of my favorite ways to eat squirrel is I'll put them in a crock pot or boil them. Once the meat gets real soft, throw them into barbecue sauce, fry them up in a pan, and then put them on bun with a pickle and a little mustard. I love that.
I think pan fried's the best you could do with. But it's just easy for me. Get back to camp, throw them in a frying pan, put a ton of seasoning on them, and call it lunch.
Yeah. I've had quail cooked like squirrel, and the only thing that makes it better than that is when you put them in that mushroom soup, you put some real hot green chili in there with them.
Oh, you got to come to Colorado for that, though, right, Benny?
That's exactly right.
Hey, now I thought New Mexico was where the chili was.
Oh,
They
no,
pretend.
no,
Eh,
hurt my feelings.
Oh, Brett ate that dynamite, or what is that? What it was?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't even the real hot stuff. I guess next year I'll have to bring the hot hops.
Green squirrel biscuits. Tim said he sent me a picture, but I haven't got it yet. But my internet's kind of silly tonight.
How many times?
Man, that's one thing that kind of sucks about the Midwest. Out here, seasoning is salt and pepper. That's it.
yeah, pretty
True.
much.
It's true.
You
I
can
grew up
Not in
South
Arizona.
Dakota, so.
you can carry dried chilies in your pocket, can't you, Robert?
Oh yeah, you sure could.
My-
They dehydrate them now, or they do that freeze drying stuff. You can get them now all over the place. It's kind of
Oh
handy.
yeah. If I can't find, I always have some sort of green chilies. Always
Right.
keeping the bees out of my soda right now. But if I can't find the fresh ones, and I at least have some canned ones, something. Salt, pepper, and sand. He says.
Sand. Yeah, gotta have that grit.
Have that grit.
You guys ever got to see bobcats? What you guys call timber, where they jump from tree to tree?
That I've never seen.
That up here, or when we get into the pinyon pines, a lot of the times those bobcats will timber on us, just jump from tree to tree.
I can see that. I've never seen.
We had it
personally,
happen
but
once coon hunting. We had
Yeah.
an old dog and a couple young pups, and the old dog got treed, and we start walking into her, and we got in about 30, 40 yards. Boom, she takes off. 15, 20 more yards or so, she gets treed again. We get a little closer to her, the same thing. The guy I was hunting with, it was his female, and he was mad. I mean, he was mad because she kept leaving the tree like that. And we couldn't figure a coon would jump or cross like that. And he ended up making a call, and somebody suggested it was possibly a bobcat. And we'd have a few at that time. It wasn't a whole lot of them around here. And they told us at night, you got to go in dark, get to the tree, flip the light on, and that's what happened. And we seen the cat. It jumped out and took off.
Huh.
Back when I was a kid, I had several races like that, and that's exactly what my grandpa told me. And we started walking in dark, and sure enough, we were treeing cats.
Hmm.
Almost exactly like what you described. There's treeing, you get about 100 yards, 50 yards from the tree. Next thing you know, dogs take off. They start treeing, get close to the tree, dogs take off. You're like, what the? I'm about pissed.
Yeah.
And yeah, cats.
Good thing about bears when you
As I
get
see,
80 yards from the tree and they jump, you can hear them come down and leave.
Yeah.
I bet. They do that a lot.
Yeah, 50
More than
50. Some of them come down.
More than they used to, Chris. It's like everything else. Catch and release has spoiled a lot of these animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what
I
I was
believe
telling
that.
I was telling
Yeah.
a story about that bear. There's a bear around here that the one guy, I call him the undercover guy. It's the guy at the rendezvous when Brett said, "Who are those?" And I pointed over there. I said, "Those are the undercover guys." But he got to a bear was just bedded down.
Oh,
And he
shit.
pulled up. And that bear ran 100 yards and treed before his dogs even get out of the truck. And there's another guy's hunting over here. Same thing. They seen the bear before he can let the dogs out of the truck. That bear treed. So it just knows he's gonna. And I think it's the same. I know it's the same bear that the undercover guy treed because we both had pictures. And it was the same bear, built the same. It was the same bear. And when I treated in August, same thing. You would just run up a tree real easy. So, they get used to it, and then they know they're going to get let go. He's just a little bear, so he knows he's going to get let go. He'll be a good blocky bear in a couple years if he lasts that long, but I don't know.
Or
You
it
know,
goes like,
I definitely believe because here at the house, I don't shoot many squirrels at all. And I've had them come down the tree. I've actually got a video. I'd put it up on Facebook a couple years ago. That squirrel come down around the other side of the tree the dog was treed on, jumped, took off to another tree, and of course, dog chased him. But I thought that's crazy. Well, like Benny said, that they know they're not going to get killed. They know the dog is really the only thing that could kill them. So, and then the coons over here with a fur market, no one's killing very many coons. So it's kind of the same deal. Them coons getting smart.
tell you what, you get a dry ground lion that's been caught 2-3 times one time, and it starts hearing dogs cold trailing it from a mile away, you're in for a day.
It won't
Well,
tree.
It
there's a
won't
lot of
tree, dude. They'll start running in front of them dogs loping, and you ain't gonna. It's they could if they put enough pressure, but man, they gotta put some hard pressure on them to get them up.
but it's worth lions because there's a lot of guys out there that don't stay with their dogs and don't go to their dogs. So
Yeah,
the lions are, that I don't know that the dogs are putting enough pressure on them without somebody right there. I couldn't imagine having dogs of any flavor and not doing your best to stay in the hunt.
oh, absolutely. But I mean,
Yeah.
you go back to the handhelds. It's you know, I'm not leaving my truck until they're sitting on it. I don't know. I've never. Like Chris. I just walk everywhere, but yeah.
A lot of the coon hunting has turned into that. Guys turn dogs loose. And before, a lot of guys would turn dogs loose, wait for them to get treed to go to them. Now they're looking at the Garmin and, oh, they're treed. Let's go. I don't personally see much fun in going out, turning the dogs loose and sitting and then waiting. I mean, guy could do that. That's fine. But I personally I'd rather just go myself.
Yeah. Well, I get if I
I've
miss
been
out
free
on
casting a
some of the
lot
race, I
lately.
get mad. Yeah. It's a lot. I enjoy it a lot better. I get mad if I sit in a truck because I feel like I'm not doing nothing. I'm being lazy, and I don't like it.
Well, that's bear hunting. That's how bear hunting is in a lot of places. You rig,
can't,
you
like,
let go.
yeah, it's hard. I wouldn't hunt bears on foot. I know that.
So I do, but I have Cody Lynn in the truck. So when I free
Yeah.
cast, I'm going to a point. I'm like dropping off, going to a point, and I have a unit that's closed, and I have the reservation. So she sits in between me and those. So when I'm free casting, I'm just hitting all these goalies and going around hills. And if they get to that point, she could pick them up, But I can't free cast. I can't free cast by myself. And to chase a bear on a mule, especially where I'm at now, there's a lot of roads, but there's a lot of fences. So it's tough too. It's tough. Them bear can be 12 miles in 10 minutes, man. It's ridiculous. They go. So
I always think about that when I hear what you guys talk about or see the guys on the East Coast running bears. Because I think, Chris, the other day we were talking, you said 13 mile. And I was thinking, like, God, I couldn't imagine walking 13 miles to a tree and then, then turn up, do it again.
Well, that's the thing with free casting with bear or even on a mule. I've come out here and hunt bear on a mule, and I'll get out there and then, man, them dogs, you look down at GPS, you're already a mile and a half, 2 miles from the truck, and all of a sudden them dogs are going the opposite direction, and they're already a mile, and they're not stopping. You got to ride back to the truck, load up, see where you can cut them off. It's tough on a mule, really tough. So that's why all these units that have a lot of roads are good bear units, and you got to know the roads. You got to know all the little sidetrack roads and all that good stuff. So,
hey guys, I've enjoyed it, and I like listening to people that do things different than I do. As far as I'm concerned, every dog that's a working dog is worth having. You guys keep
absolutely.
up. Watch TV with my first wife.
Yeah. You better go do that before you have to watch it with the second wife.
Yeah.
You guys
all right,
have
Benny.
a good.
Have a good one, Benny.
Yep. Have a good night, buddy.
I think. Oh, there's Zach. I don't know how long he's waiting there. I didn't see him.
Yeah, no, my phone died. I wasn't paying attention to my battery power.
Oh,
He's halfway there. Oh, there he is.
Now, Zach, you've been out west. If you could hunt other than just squirrels, I mean, you've done that before. You like it better?
No, when I was out west, my goal was to turn these curs into cat dogs, and I was kind of on my way there, but didn't quite make it. I guess now that I'm getting older, yeah, I think I'd rather be squirrel hunting just because there's more action. You get to see multiple trees. You get to see your dogs work a lot more. Man, you guys have chased cats. It can take 3 days, 4 days of just constant pounding, and every day turning up empty-handed. And not necessarily empty-handed. It's just that's what it takes to catch a lion. With these squirrels, shit, 3, 4, 5 a day. That's a good day.
well, you're not going miles and miles on horrible terrain, really, are you?
No.
Yeah, you can have just as much fun in a little 5-acre stand of timber as you do hundreds of acres.
Yeah.
Can you hunt year round in Iowa? Squirrel hunt? Or is there
For coons you can't. Squirrels you can't. and they just passed that law this year with fur prices. Nobody's trapping them, and they're kind of out of control here. I've been out several nights, and there has not been a single tree that only had one coon. They've all had 3 or more. Last weekend I was at a farm, and we hunted. There might have been 5 acres of timber there. We killed 20 coon.
Damn.
Jeez.
They're like rats. It's getting bad. It's getting to a point where distemper is going to run through them and kill a lot of them. I'm afraid.
The squirrels?
Coons.
Oh, the
Coon.
coon.
Yeah, sorry, I got off the top because I haven't been doing much squirrel hunting this year because the leaves are still on, and except for working the dogs, they're hard to see. By the time you get there, they're tempered out and into a hole. It's tough.
I think because I've never been able to do it, all I've been able to do is squirrel, coon hunt, like running bobcats or even the bears or lions. If I lived somewhere where I could do that, I would probably not ever squirrel hunt again.
Well,
Yeah,
I do it all. If it runs up a tree, I want to tree it.
no, I
Yeah,
enjoy it. Just kind of a driving around thing when I'm not catching bear. I let Stinker go and catch squirrels. So
I don't. The tree and cur, if it goes up a tree, I'll let him tree it. Groundhogs, possum, that dog is a possum machine. I tell you what, we turn him out at nighttime. And sometimes I had some guys that I coon hunted with come hunt with him, and they said it wasn't very fun because he don't open on the ground. Well, he'll catch most of them on the ground anyhow, and he'll come back to you. They'll ask, "What's he doing?" I say, "He's headed back in." I said, "Really?" I said, "Yep, here he come. Got a possum in his mouth."
you eat those possum?
Nope.
Me either.
That bad?
If you could smell them, you wouldn't want nothing to do with them.
Just look at their faces. You don't want nothing to do with that ugly thing.
They do. They do look dirty.
When I was in Kentucky, there was one crawled on the side of the road, and right as I got up to it, it looked at me. I swerved into it. Hit that fucking thing. The devil.
That's like porcupines here. You wish you could kill every one of them. You guys got porcupines?
Nope.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, we did.
I hate them.
The armadillos are moving their way up here. They've found several of them that are usually not this far north at all.
We've started seeing them
wonder
south
why.
here too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's this whole climate change or what, but yeah, it's beginning to be more common.
Those stuff.
You know, I don't wonder.
Those are my dad's dogs. They just got here. That's why you hear dogs in my background.
Where we're at, where the trucking industry, because we've got 2 interstates that intersect each other. So the trucking industry is huge here. And I sometimes didn't wonder if that's how maybe some have moved up or got brought up here.
Oh, that's a good thought because everyone that they find here is it's usually out on I-29 right there where the ethanol plants are. Good thought.
You know, that's funny you say that about the ethanol because south of here, about an hour, there's a pipeline down there. And that when I go down that way on the interstate, I've seen 2 in the last year that I've been going down that way. So that makes me wonder if something to do with that industry or whatever coming up from the south.
You might be right. Whether they're hitching a ride on a hay wagon or fuck them things get in anywhere. They'll ride under the hood of your car like a damn cat.
DOW up here in
Or heck, in
Colorado.
the backpack of an illegal.
DOW up here in Colorado, they had a Wolverine over by Gunnison, which is kind of South Centralist Colorado. And they had
That's
a
wild.
trailer. It went 600 miles north up by us, or up past us. Was there for like a month, and then 3 months later, it was killed in South Dakota, eating some dude's chickens.
Dang.
Had to have hitched a ride on a truck or something.
Man,
What was,
that's a
what was
long way
that?
too.
What was that bear that traveled like 1,200 miles? I don't remember where it was. Bart the bear. They were keeping tabs on. I think it finally got hit by a car.
They had a lion collared in South Dakota get run over by a car in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
It was like a 3-year-old Tom, 2-year-old Tom.
No
I
kidding, that
get-
young.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder too on that aspect or in that instance if it wasn't somebody took it over there or if it really did migrate that far.
It probably migrated. Them young Toms, they just wander trying to find their own food source and not try to get their shit kicked in by another Tom.
And try to
And they
find
will.
weight
I think-
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been 2 years ago, north of here, up by Rockford, Illinois. South of there is west of Chicago, an hour. I've still got a picture of a state trooper hit one, a mountain lion.
Oh shoot.
So if they use, like you said, they're coming from out west over east, they had to come through here.
Oh yeah. I grew up in eastern South Dakota, and we'd always hear about one pulling through every now and then, about once every couple of years.
Well, hell, they had an elk down in Gila Bend a while back.
Oh really?
Ended up down in Gila Bend. Mm-hmm.
Shit, we get. It seems like we get a moose and an elk every year here. I always read about something coming down from up north and hitting the Iowa border.
How far do they travel?
How far? What?
How far do they have to travel to get to you? Those elk.
Northern
moose?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Not too far.
Missouri and Kentucky's got elk.
Or they could be coming from there.
Yeah.
Doesn't Missouri have an elk season?
And the
Yeah.
West Nebraska has elk too.
Yeah.
Them animals will travel.
Oh,
Doesn't
it's not-
Nebraska have a lion season now with dogs?
Yep.
Like 1 week?
Yep. They just opened it up, I think, this year or last year.
Yeah. You got one. If you can boot hunt your first season, you're only allowed to boot hunt the first season, and then in end of March, you're allowed to bring dogs in.
What do you mean boot hunt?
You find a lion track and you walk it out. No
Yeah.
dog.
Spot and
And
stock.
spot and stock. You can call them in. That's in South Dakota. When I grew up, that's what we called it. When guys would go out west to hunt lions, they'd be boot hunting.
Sounds like a lot of unsuccessful hunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've seen guys track them lions out in the snow,
Yep.
especially if you got a kill. If you knew you had a good kill somewhere,
What was that guy
you
on?
could do it.
Was it the Discovery Channel or the guy up in Wyoming that does mountain lions and stuff? He was up there hunting with that Tyler Johnson, and they walked that lion out.
I've had
Now, I'm not a very good hunter without my dogs.
Right.
my buddies that
Yeah, I
chucker
just don't
hunt
smell.
Nevada.
Smell the bear.
My buddies that chucker hunt Nevada, they'll walk back to the truck and put dogs up and hike a lion track out if they find one.
Damn.
They don't kill a lot. Like my one buddy that does it, I think he's killed 4 lions his whole life doing it.
That's
You know,
still-
I've
Dude,
had
that
someone
guy's
send
part
me a-
elk though. He just hikes for days. He can out hike me.
I had someone send me a pin for a lion track, and I went the next morning and found it and went right, and it was right in a bunch of elk, and I seen a like a little hill. So I said, well, he probably got a kill in there if he's following those elk. So I went and ran around that hill, nothing. I went to the next road, and this lion beelined. I'm talking 10 miles. I could go to my Onyx, go to the next road, draw a straight line, pinpoint that, and I'd find that track real close to that. I mean, he just went right to the reservation. One straight line. That line never stopped. It was in snow. Never stopped.
If you would have hiked that track out, you probably would have found scratches, a lot of scratches along the way.
You think in the snow?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, but they definitely in the snow.
absolutely.
Yeah, because it was a straight line.
We
Straight
would-
line.
We would do that with toms in Nevada because we didn't have the best of snow conditions in Nevada. I mean, we'd get a snow and it'd melt off within a day. So we'd hit a tom scratch, and like you said, you could almost line it up as straight as an arrow and jump the ridge and hit the next one. The dogs make a lose. Jump a ridge, hit the next one, find a scratch, put the dogs on it, they'll take it trailing again. But it's for some reason them toms when they get traveling like that, it's literally like you said, it's straight as an arrow. But they are covering country.
Fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the
they're-
next morning. They found that track fresh.
Yep.
And I went the next morning and I could just jump them roads all the way to the reservation. It was like 10 miles.
Yeah. Dude, no. Well, I think I told you that story. We hunted this tom. He was a long walking tom. We cut dogs loose at not 8 in the morning. We didn't get back to the truck until 4:30 the next morning, and we hiked 17 miles and never even got the line jumped.
Yeah.
He just walked.
When they want to
for
go
days.
somewhere, they go somewhere.
Yep.
But bear
know-
no different. When they take those nuisance bear and they go drop them off, they'll drop them off 100 miles away and they're back in 3 days.
Didn't Robert say that
Yeah.
at the rendezvous?
Yep. Yeah, we had one up there by us in Leadville, and it got caught in a person's vehicle, and they took it clear down by Trinidad, down by Matone almost, but in Colorado. Turned it loose. 2 days later, it was in the same dumpster by that car.
Jeez.
Holy.
They go. I mean, they go.
Yeah.
When they want to go.
Yeah.
So,
That's what kind of kills me about all the want to stop mountain lion hunting and stuff. Just hearing your story about how long you guys trailed that lion and then never even saw it. That ain't just some guy that wants to go out and start whacking animals dead. That takes some dedication to do that and want to go back and do it again. I mean, seriously.
They don't get it. So I was sending Chris screenshots of this wonderful lady.
there's no talking sense in those people. No matter what.
There
Proof,
isn't.
science, facts, pictures. They don't want to hear it.
They don't. So we were talking about mountain lion management, and I was a hillbilly that, killing lions isn't managing them. And I was just all, what is management then? Like, what is this and that? And she's all, humans are already managing lions. And I'm like, yeah, by hunting. And then she blew up on her comments. She's all, no, we're managing them. Vehicles getting hit. They're getting dead. They're dying by disease, this and that. We don't need to hunt them. And I'm just all, since when is hitting one with a vehicle management?
Or humane.
Yeah. And it's just, I'm like,
Or
so
letting them have disease and die out.
and so I just commented back, and she's like, we need to quit all hunting of all animals. Like, she was one of those ladies.
Oh yeah, there's no talking to that lady.
No.
Well,
And I was
Yeah.
like, so we don't need to pay biologists any money. We don't need any more state agencies. And we need to take vehicles off the road. You just solved 70 years of conservation in 10 minutes.
She's a freaking genius.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
that is their ultimate goal, is to wipe
is.
hunting, trapping, everything completely off the board.
And she's all, no, I got this. I found this from a biologist study that 587 lions were killed by vehicles in California in 8 years. I'm like, that's not a lion study. That's just reports. A secretary can put that in a spreadsheet
Yeah.
for you.
That's the
That's not a
Department
You
of
can get
violation.
that from State
Transportation.
Farm.
Yeah. No.
Did you ever see that on Facebook, or I don't remember where I saw it. It was a couple years ago. I was going around where the lady called in and was complaining about deer crossing signs. They should really put them so the deer cross where there's not vehicles and shit.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
You know the crazy
don't
thing
know.
about that is that was real. That lady was serious as
Yeah.
a heart attack too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
It's-
was.
And those are the people that vote.
That radio host guy could not believe what he was talking to.
Yeah. He walked into pure gold when that call came in.
Oh,
All kinds.
are you guys? Is any of you guys getting? None of you guys are getting affected by that hurricane, are you?
No.
No.
You guys too far off?
Yeah. And man, it's I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures or posts from any of the guys, the squirrel hunting, coon hunting guys. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy what they got to deal with.
It's a nightmare down there.
Well,
yeah.
it's the demographics of it too. You got to, Louisiana, all them states across that whole border over there of the ocean. You're going to get hurricanes, obviously, and sometimes, no matter how much you prepare for it, you're not prepared for it. It's just like Arizona. What do we got to worry about? Fires. In California, the north, they get those big fires, and I mean, it ain't no different than a hurricane. Within 2 hours,
Right.
your house is gone, or
Yeah.
so you got to kind of prepare for that or know that it's coming. Just like Kansas, you have tornadoes.
Tornadoes. Yep.
I hated living in Texas. I live in Arizona because I don't want to deal with hurricanes, tornadoes. We get the flash flooding every once in a while, but
That don't
even
last long.
yeah, we get heat waves.
Yeah.
Same with New Mexico. Like, I like living here because I don't have to worry about that stuff. So
No,
Yeah,
we just got rattlesnakes.
yeah,
really not a lot to worry about down there except for straight wind and the occasional arroyo filling up.
yep. So when you live right there in Florida, man, you gotta at least know at one point in your life you're gonna have to make it through a hurricane, and you may not make it through a hurricane. That's a bad one, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So, but it's all right. I think Kamala's giving them all $750.
Yeah. For a loan.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
take it out of taxes.
We're
Yeah.
gonna loan you your money. Your money. You're gonna loan you money that you paid us, so we can loan it to you, so you could pay us back.
And when you pay us
If
back,
they're
it'll
gonna
be
even do it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, man. Some of the stories that you hear down there, it's TL Jones and Stephen Fielder did a podcast. I think it was just past Monday, and the stories and the stuff that TL was saying is like, holy cow, man. It's unreal. It's hard for me to sit here and imagine what those people are going through with all that.
well, you
unbelievable.
you wake up and your house is gone.
Well,
I seen truckers, and the water's in their cabs up past their dash.
Mhm.
So it's tough. And that's where old Dandy is from. Yeah, we've had some good storms here where we flooded out pretty good in Arizona. But ours is Mountain Days. Ours is wildfires.
Yep.
That's kind of our. But a fire don't move as quick as a hurricane. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like,
Depends on the wind, but
you still get your evacuation notice, and I guess over
Yeah.
there they knew it was coming.
yep.
But you could board your house up and sandbag it and come back and it's all gone.
Yep.
So
My buddies, they were fighting fire in northern Nevada. I think I told you this story on here, but they were fighting fire in northern Nebraska or northern Nevada, and they were getting their butts kicked. And finally, this fire hit a giant dirt road up in northern Nevada, and they were like standing on the road catching their breath, and they're like, "All right, a natural fire break." all of a sudden they hear a hellacious scream and a jackrabbit took off across the road, lit on fire.
Oh shit!
Uh,
Took it to the other side of the road.
Oh, there you go.
They just looked at each other like,
Dinner.
you got to be kidding me.
Dinner and
We
job
were-
security all in one, I guess.
Yep.
We were burning some CRP when I was a kid, and a pheasant took off on fire across the river and lit the other side of the river on fire that was not supposed to burn. So that probably happens a whole lot more than you think.
Yep.
Is there I know they had some funding set up to help those guys. I know there was some houndmen. I don't know, maybe Chris Powell or TL Jones or someone was doing some funding or donations or something.
They had a little
I
bit.
saw
of
Value Pack and Joy sent dog food,
Yeah.
and then I saw today where I want to say Elite Nutrition sent down some dog food. Joy, some Joy stuff also.
But I also heard a story that there's some scams going on where they went in to the Appalachians or something and they wouldn't let them in or something. You guys hear anything about that?
There's a lot of weird, like, so they had, this is all on TikTok. I don't know. But they had, what's it called? Where an aid station where they had a bunch of food, water, people were grilling whatever they had, for still food. They were grilling. And
is that the helicopter?
Yeah, that's the helicopter came in and just blew everything out of it.
Helicopter story.
What is it?
It was a government helicopter, just blew everything and knocked everything over. And
I heard a private citizen had a helicopter. He was an ex-firefighter, I think, that flew a helicopter.
Yeah,
him and his son.
Yep.
Yeah, and he decided to go in and start getting people, and they grounded him. They made him leave his son out there.
He ended up going back and getting him.
He went and got it. He told the guy, didn't he? Go F yourself.
Yeah, and then he ended up going back and getting the guy too.
Man. You hear a lot of that shit.
Yeah, you hear a lot of stuff like what the Red Nose is saying. FEMA and other federal agencies are trying to shut down outside companies from bringing aid in. Like that just makes your blood boil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the reasoning behind not letting them in?
Yeah.
It's that stupid litigation. It's litigation, what it is. Because TL was talking, and I don't remember specifics, but somebody couldn't tell somebody, yes, you can go help them or give them something because they would, could be held liable for it. And I thought, in them situations, that's crazy that you got to even think about that kind of thing.
Elon Musk was going to drop little cell phone.
The Starlinks.
Starlink
He
stuff.
did.
And they shut him down.
Yep.
Yeah, I did see where he said they had his people on the ground were having trouble.
Yeah, they shut him down and grounded him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
That's when you know your government's too big.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but I've read a couple articles about a lithium mine in that area.
Yeah, TL said that I think silica, that's the only place in the world that you can get that stuff for cell phones, is what he said.
So yeah, there's kind of a land grab type thing I think might be going on.
Like Maui?
Exactly.
A lot of it going on. A lot of, you get into those conspiracy theories. Another rabbit hole, but
a lot of times them rabbit holes are not such a
lines
hole.
up.
It's reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scary thing, man, anymore. A lot of the stuff, like during the pandemic, that was being told to us, now we find out, they lied to us for sure. And it's hard to believe anything that I haven't seen with my own two eyes, or that somebody, a real person, like if you videoed something happening in front of your house, I'd believe it. If CNN put it on TV, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question everything because like
No,
my
I don't.
boss says, the internet ruined everything. The
It
internet's
did.
fault.
It ruined. It did. It did put a damper on families. It put a damper on communications. You know, you don't just pick up the phone and call anybody. You text somebody, and text can be misconstrued so fast.
Oh yeah.
How many times you send a text and they're like, it just turns into a fight, or even messages on here. You
Yeah.
know,
Probably 9 out of 10 Facebook posts I post, it ruffles somebody's feathers because they take it wrong. And I'm like, you can't get emotion out of what I just said, you know? Call me and ask me
Yep.
about it. I'll tell you.
yep. And most people won't do that because they don't know how to
Scared of conflict.
communicate in person.
Yeah.
You know, and
They think everything's a conflict or it's going to be a fight.
Mhm.
We see that where I work with the young guys coming in, the communication thing. And I don't understand how we're going to progress as a country in the future if we've got people that work in the same building that refuse to talk to each other because they're just too scared to talk to each other.
Well, guys aren't guys anymore. They're just a bunch of berry pickers.
You're right.
That's a fact.
They're just, they're they were Indians. They be picking berries with mom and auntie.
Yep, auntie. And there's a lot of aunties.
You just about made my son drop on the floor, rolling, laughing.
You know, it's
Yeah.
true. I got daughters, and they're just like, man, there's not much to pick from. You know, they're wearing sandals and man buns, and they don't do nothing. You know, they sit around and play video games. I know a gal, and her old man just a fat slob, sit around and play video games.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'll get like calls or Snapchats from her what he's doing. I'm like, man, so all you gotta do is say the word. I'll show up and he'll be out. I'll make sure he's out. He won't come back.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's just like the kids just you see it like I work, construction, and if they are 27, almost 30 and younger, dear Lord. We had a guy drive a truck with a flat tire because it was an older truck. It was a 90s model Chevy. He drove the truck with a flat tire, like ruined the rim, everything, because the tire light didn't come on the dash.
Wow.
Like,
If they even know what that light is, I've seen posts. They're like, "What is this light?"
yeah. He's like,
I
the
don't know.
tire
What is
light's not on.
what is that?
And I'm like, you didn't hear that just beating the shit out of the
Yeah.
fender?
Yeah. Yep.
There's a few good kids that are young, but man, they're few and far between.
Yeah. There
Well,
is.
I think
we got a couple young guys at work, and there's one young guy that he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders. He's willing to learn. He gets down and gets it done. And then the other 5, you're lucky if you can get them not on their phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All day long.
All day
If
long.
they
And then
get-
they go home and get on their phone.
It's pretty wild.
It's like they show those pictures of the restaurant. Everybody's at a restaurant and there's 8 people at a table and they're all on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody's
You know,
talking to nobody.
And when I'm home, like we eat dinner every night together. And like there's
Yeah,
no
we do
phones
too.
allowed at our table. You know.
Yep.
So
That's probably one of the main things that's missing in this country is everybody sitting down to eat together. Yeah.
Getting together a family night at least once a month. Like
I mean, I can remember growing up and we'd be sitting at the table eating and the phone rings. You better not answer that phone. We're eating.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it was at our house.
Either that or your dad pissed because someone calls and they should know better to call it around that time.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or when's the last
Yeah.
time somebody knocked
Me
on
too,
your
man.
door, Randy? without
Well, where I
headphones
live,
already.
No one knows.
where I live, it hasn't happened in a while. Thank God.
Well, I'm just saying,
I don't.
as a kid, it was a welcoming thing. Oh, such and such is here. All right, get out. Let's get him tea. And now it's like, man, if you come over without calling me first, we got problems.
Yeah.
I mean, people I know, people
Well,
that
it
always
is, but
show up at my place, but if I don't know you, don't knock on my
well,
door.
I don't even. And no one knocks on my door. Everybody just comes in my house, like, and if I'm naked, I'm naked. Hey, you better close your eyes. But no one knocks. But people really come over as family, and I got a bunch of dogs in my yard, so
Yeah.
and I'm the crazy neighbor. Everybody says I'm the crazy neighbor, so not too many come over. But I think family time, like when the schools, I got kindergartners, and they send homework home. I'm like, why would you send like? I send my kids to school 8 hours a day. Why are you sending homework home? That's family time, not school time. You guys get your money to teach during the day, not to send stuff home. You know,
That was always
Chris,
so
believe it or
and
not,
it takes
though,
away from family time.
that's not the norm, the family time. So these people sending homework home, they don't think about the people that do still do that. My daughter called me.
Yep.
It's been 2 years ago. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. She says, "Hey, Dad, we're having a spelling bee today, and I'm in it. Will you come?" I said, "Yeah, I can switch some stuff around and come." So I did. It got over. The principals tell everybody they got snacks and waters, and that the parents could get up and talk to the kids and mingle for a while. So as soon as he dropped the mic, parents got up and went left. Kids got up and went right. Well, I got up, went to see my daughter, talking to her within just a few minutes. There's a little group of girls, we're all chit chatting, talking, whatever, and get home that evening. And my daughter's like, "Man, my friends think you're really cool." I was like, "Why? I didn't do anything. I just talked to him." She says, "Yeah, well, you actually talked to him, and you talked to him like a person, not like an adult talks, just some kid." And I said, "Honey, when they go home at night, do their parents not do like what we do? Like we'll talk, we'll hang out, we'll eat together. She may go back, hey, I'm going to go to my room and chill for a little. Okay, that's cool, but we interact." And she says, "No, not really." That's the problem. That is
No, they
what these
don't.
teachers they're finding. The parents don't even want to teach the kids. Like mine, I teach her everything I know. May not be very much, but I'm teaching her everything I know. When she goes to school, she's trying to learn and actually do a good job. Most of these kids, that's not why they're going to school. They go home. The parents aren't trying to teach them anything. I coached her softball team one year, and some of them parents expected me to teach their kids how to catch, how to hit a ball. And I'm thinking that stuff you should be doing at home.
Yeah.
That's what a parent does.
Well, I got 10-year-old twin boys, and they got on the quad, and they got their shotguns. Well, they got a 12 gauge, and they went squirrel and turkey hunting by themselves, And man, there's a lot of kids, and my 10-year-olds, my 6-year-old twin girls, they go water and they help water and feed. But my 10-year-olds, they take care of my animals. I was out of town for 4 years working. I was only home on weekends, but they took care of my dogs, and I'd bring home a squeeze of hay, and they'd be in there pulling bells at 8 years old. I got videos of them pulling bells at 8 years old, trying their hardest to pull bells. And they work harder than most 20-year-olds, and they know more than most 20-year-olds, and then I got them phones recently, mainly just for location. And of course they get their phones and their new phones, and they're glued to it for a while. And I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that no more,
Yeah.
And at night, I'm like, when you guys go to bed, you could do 30 minutes of phone, or they'll ask me, can I get on YouTube? I'm like, well, yeah, but find something. Don't just watch somebody playing a video game. Learn something. My one son, he gets on the World War II stuff, Vietnam stuff. He loves the old war stuff. My other son, he's a fishing guy. So if it's about fishing, he'll get on and I say educational, and he'll learn about some fish or whatever, but it's still fishing stuff. So he's kind of outsmarts me on that. But these kids will sit around and watch for hours Not even
You've
playing
mentioned
video games. They'll watch people
Watch someone else
playing
play.
video games. I'm all
dumbfounds me. That
like,
up
what
and
the
down
heck?
kids watching somebody else play
Yeah,
video games.
crazy.
I come in
I didn't
my
know that
daughter's
was
bedroom
fun.
one night. She likes to play games. She's got an Xbox. She plays a little bit here and there, that Minecraft. Well, I come in her
Yeah.
bedroom one night and I could hear somebody talking about what they're doing. And I thought she was doing the same thing. And I said, "What in the world are you doing?" She said, "Well, I'm doing this and this, whatever. And I'm trying to figure it out." So I searched and found a video, and it's basically he's walking her through it. And I said, "Oh, okay. That's if something breaks on the truck, I get on YouTube. How do I fix this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
In a lot of ways.
man,
YouTube
my
University.
kids. I got older boys. Yep, I got older boys, and they're like, I think he did his clutch or brakes, and I said, well, you gonna come help me? I said, no, you go do it. I said, you're lucky you got YouTube. I had a Chilton. I don't know what a Chilton's is. The stupid book that you had to read
Oh,
to
yeah,
figure
yeah,
out all
yeah.
the torque. We didn't have someone just come in. Well, mine was Chilton's. There's other books, but Chilton's.
Yeah, the
And
technical
you go
manuals.
to AutoZone or Checkers, yeah,
Yep.
and they had a whole. I don't even know if they have them anymore, but they have the whole rack of books. You know, YouTube.
Wasn't in that
Don't get me
Chilton
wrong. YouTube is phenomenal. Yep. You know, you wanted torque specs, you had to go get a Chilton book. You know,
Yep.
sequence.
Or ask
Now
an
you
old
just
timer.
watch a 15-minute video. Yep.
Or
Yep. My
timer
starter went out in my Magnum. What is it?
Oh, I'm just thinking back to
My
I had
starter
a.
went out in my Magnum.
Go ahead. It's my bad. A little bit of lag in here.
No, there is a lag in here. I think my internet's bad tonight. My starter went out in my Magnum in Globe, Arizona. I was down in Phoenix. My son was coming down from Sholo. And I said, "Hey, can you go check that out and see if not? I'll just call AAA." He watched a 12-minute video on his way down on how to change that starter without pulling exhaust and ripping the front end out. And then he went and got the starter, went and changed it at a gas station. In the old days, you didn't have that. You didn't have that ability. So it's great. I love it. Haynes.
I think it's
Haynes
like a
was
lot
the
of
other one.
Haynes, yeah.
See, no.
I think the
Catch any
internet,
bears,
man, is
Chris?
like
No,
a
I
lot
didn't
of
catch no
things.
bears.
I always hear people talking about the dog stuff and internet ruined it. And I guess like a lot of things, people can take things to an excess or do the wrong thing with it. Because I had a guy I coon hunted with told me Facebook, "Oh, it's nothing but drama, nothing but drama." I said, "Yeah, if you want to make it drama." He said, "No, that's it." I said, "Are you on it?" And he says, "Well, no, I don't like all that drama stuff." So I pulled my phone out and I started scrolling through. I said, "Show me drama." He goes, "Well, that's all dog stuff." I said, "Exactly. That's what I like in the world is the dog stuff. So I don't need all that drama crap."
If it wasn't for the internet and Facebook, I wouldn't have a couple of these great dogs that I have because that's how I found them. I wouldn't have been introduced to a couple of breeders that I would have ever found.
The internet's like a gun. You can kill someone with it, or you can
Yeah.
protect someone with it. Period. So, and there is drama. There's a lot of drama. So all you have to do is scroll on
Yeah.
by, though. Let them talk their crap. You know what I mean? So, and everybody, and in the dog world, in every world, it's all the niches are the same. You get into the outlaw circle track racing stuff, I guarantee you, they have just as much drama as the hound world. Go into the crocheting world, knitting, all that knitting and
Yeah.
crocheting. There is literally drama in there, man. It's crazy. But that's just what happens when you get groups of people,
Not everyone's gonna get along.
See how much America. Dandy's on a roll tonight, man. He's angry. He's angry at Florida. You know, we've had drama on
Back in
here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Heck,
Yeah,
Brett almost got sued.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we did an undercover thing, man, and I couldn't believe the calls I got. Messages, calls, like just crazy. You know, I need to make a little disclaimer at the front that says for entertainment purposes only.
Right.
None of the views, comments, or whatever. You know, it's like get over it. It's crazy. You know, and all those Facebook's the worst. You know, those groups, someone will post something and it just blows up. It blows up. Someone will spike deer or elk and they blow up. You know, I shoot
Shooting off the
spikes.
bat.
Well, remember when we were lion hunting down on the border together, and
Mhm.
those two old timers got in? I don't know what they got into it about, but it was a god dang. That was a 2-day ordeal in between those guys on Facebook.
Oh, it's just crazy. It's like, and
I
it
don't know
just,
what they were mad at. I don't. Do you remember what they were even mad at each other for? Those two old hound guys.
oh, Chris and Carl.
Yeah.
That was something that
Holy.
happened like 2 years ago that somebody said your dogs are stupid or I don't know. It was like 2 years ago, man.
And they still
You're
didn't let
right.
it drop.
No, and those guys. I've met them both. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have a really problem with anybody. You know, I bumped into a guy, and he said, I bumped into a guy that don't like you. And I'm like, damn. I mean, I make people mad, but I don't have anybody that would say what it was said.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, wait, I know. And he said, well, I'm not going to say his name. I said, you don't have to. There's only one guy in this world. You don't have to tell me nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I know who I piss off, and I know who, yeah, whatever. You know, and that's like grain of salt in my book. You know,
Yep.
I don't care. I'm not no near Warner Glenn. And Warner Glenn wasn't Warner Glenn 40 years ago either. You know what I mean? Warner Glenn's Warner Glenn because he's 87 years old and he did what he did when he wasn't Warner Glenn.
He's 90.
I thought he was 87 or 88.
Is he?
That don't matter. He's
Oh,
over 80
90.
still swinging on a mule,
Yeah.
you know?
We
You know, and
hunted this. We hunted the same ranch. Well, there's a problem line on a ranch down here, and I had to go. I had to go back to work, and I didn't. I had 2 days, and I didn't catch it. So Warner came in, and now I'm sweating bullets, and I'm like, shoot, Warner's gonna come in first day and pop this bugger up.
Make you look like a little bitch.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's what's going through my head.
Yeah.
He ended up not catching it, which kind of made me happy. I ended up catching that tom about 2 weeks later, but
Yep. Gotcha. I got you.
that's how
Yeah.
I kind of felt like too. After I was like, I got it, he didn't, but I couldn't believe it.
You know,
he was still riding a mule.
oh yeah, that guy's great. Like I would sell my soul to the devil to be able to be that age and still swing a leg and go.
Oh yeah.
Like, and just to remember, when I shook his hand, I became 75% better lion hunter just by shaking his hand.
Oh, I believe it.
And that's not very much, but it's a lot more than I was.
Yep.
I mean, but like I said, that wasn't Warner Glenn. Warner Glenn wasn't Warner Glenn 40 years ago.
No.
You know what I mean? He was just some guy running around. And what's going to happen in 40 years? You know, which one of us is going to be the Warner Glenn? You know, probably nobody because they'll take it all away and
It ain't gonna be me.
live in. No,
Well,
there's not.
know, that's just when you become a drag around gray fox hunter.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I was in New Mexico.
Yep.
Fucking
Dandy's really on that Milton.
You know.
Hey, there's nothing
you
I
can't-
can do about it. I'm not God. And Milton, if you need some money, somebody needs money, let me know where to send it. And I'll put it on the show and say, hey, here's some money. That's all I can do. So, you know what?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people killing people in Chicago too.
every
They don't
weekend.
want help though.
No, no, and I think that's why you're not going to hear of a raccoon hunter. Who won that Autumn Oaks? You guys, what was that? What's that dang dog's name? What is it, Robert? Do you remember?
No, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't follow the coon hunter world.
I don't know. It was some dog, but you're not going to hear about that in 40 years. Not like, and I think that's why the lion hunting, specifically the lion hunting, not really bear hunting.
No.
You don't hear of a bear hunter. Well, you got the plot. You got
John,
Bob Plot,
Vaughn.
Yeah.
but those guys aren't the dry ground lion hunter guys. I think it's like a very romantic scene where, like you said, when you're chasing something for 10 days and you don't catch it, it's like chasing a woman for 30 years and finally
Yes.
marrying her maybe the 40th year. You know, and with lion hunting, I'm not no lion hunter. That Brett tells that story where Dale told Steve, "You're not a lion hunter. I'm not. What can I catch a lion? Anybody can catch a lion if you're lucky enough. And you can take dogs and run out and bump a lion and maybe catch them. I've done it, by accident. But that's what builds you as being a lion hunter. But I think that's why everybody likes the West dry ground lion hunter, because it's a mystical, usually a loner. There's no 10 trucks behind you like bear hunting, you
Yeah.
know. And Brett asked me Monday, he goes, "Are you ever going to quit bear hunting?" Probably not. Maybe when I'm too old. But even then, if I'm too old and I'm rigging, I got kids to jump out and chase them dogs for me, you know? But even when I'm bear hunting, I don't have 10 people behind me. I'm still into that loner mode. Like today, I was by myself. Well, I ran around with the undercover guy for a little bit, let him know all my areas so he can try to bust me. But when you lion hunt by yourself so long, you know how it is, Jared. You just get used to it. Like it's
You don't
peaceful.
want to bring people with.
No.
You don't want to like me and my buddies when we'd lion hunt together. I would only lion hunt with two of my buddies' dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Two different groups of dogs. The other ones, no. We can camp together. You go your way, I go my way.
Yep. Yeah, let's make a circle and then come back and then cross back over and maybe we'll jump it,
Yeah, or if someone found a kill in their circle or driving roads, busting roads, yeah, we'll go tag team it. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, you go your way, I go my way, because it's just a pain in the butt. And even though you guys are buddies, you still hate their dogs when they bark on something they shouldn't.
Yeah.
You're all, shut that
Well,
dog up.
It's like, I don't know if anybody has kids here, but it's like kids. When you have your own kids, you can smack your kids or do whatever you want and they do what you want. You see other kids and you see them doing stuff and you just want to you have to hold it. It's like it's the same with dogs. You want to kick that dog in the head for doing what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So
Not
it's
your
hard.
dog,
Not your dog.
I don't know how. I've never been hunting like they do back east, like George Lambert and all them guys where they have like 5, 6, 7 trucks behind them.
Yeah. Well, you see those bear trees back east. Shoot, some of them, they got 10, 15 guys standing underneath of it.
Oh, I've been to bear trees right on this mountain I'm camped by. We showed up and we had 50 dogs there.
Holy shit.
No fights. It was good. We actually pulled all the old dogs back, let the bear go, and let the young dogs go after it. It was a friend of mine. I knew the guy, but it's just a kind of a rare thing that happens, but with lion hunting, you don't get to the lion tree and there's 30 dogs around it and 5 guys saying, "I beat you here." Maybe in the snow. That's only because that lion crossed a road and you let go and it crossed another road and someone else let go.
My buddy turned his dogs loose and he came across the road, turned his dogs loose, saw where the dogs were going, backed out, went up another road, and saw his dogs cross the road right in front of a pickup. And that guy was coming down the hill with the lion already dead.
Man, he's really little Mags will smoke your pup stinker. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. Don't you live in Florida? Better hope your dog don't float away. He's I don't care. Stinker's not a dog that's competition. I got some dogs if you want to bring them up. I got some dogs I'll put them up against. I ain't no badass dog guy, but I'll catch stuff.
Yep.
I catch stuff I'm not supposed to. That's how badass I am.
Didn't even know your dog was that good.
I'm that good.
God. Dude, my
not-
pups ran a bear on Sunday on accident. My two like little puppies. They're just turned a year old. I didn't get them back to the truck until like noon. I thought they were cooked. It was 102 when I got them back to the truck.
My dad ran a bear and it went like 12 miles onto the reservation.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, they were smoked for 2 days, man.
Yep.
That's it. That's the difference. You know, with line hunting, you can go, but it's not a hard bear race.
No.
You know, it's just,
There's a lot of
it's a tough race.
A lion track, it depends on the heat, but they don't tear off and go, but there's like 8,000 little steps they take in 800 yards.
Yeah.
Because they go forward and then they don't smell it going forward, so they come back to it, and then they go another direction, then come back to it, and go to another direction.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take it as an all-out run, but
yeah. Well, I sent you that video of Vaca, didn't I? Where she's licking the rocks.
yeah, yep.
Started. I thought I had a bear tree, and maybe I didn't. Maybe it was a bobcat or something. You know. And then I heard a gunshot, and I'm like, God, some son of a bitch shot my bear. I bet. And I'm 800 yards away. I'm dragging a 10-year-old. I'm like, we got to roll, man. Like, and we did. We got over there, and I had 2 dogs trail off into another unit. So, and maybe it was a mom and a cub, and maybe they split up. I don't know. Maybe there's 2 coyotes in a tree. I don't know. But when I got over there to Vaca, I got 150 yards from where Vaca and Yucky were treed, and they moved off. And then when they were going around, and I cut them off. When I got over there, I could see him, and I'm watching him, and Vaca's just working. I got over there, and I got it on my GoPro where I went up to it, and you could see where she was licking those rocks. And then they got into the burn, and then her tongue was black from snorting all that black shit. And you know,
I've had lion tracks turn out like that when their lions jumped, where it's a tough spot on the ground, and you know the lions jump because you heard them treeing, and then they take off running, and they only take off running barking hard for like the first 100 yards, 200 yards, and all of a sudden it just goes quiet, and they're cold trailing, and they're just working it back and forth, and it's just like, what the F just happened here?
Oh, well, and you don't know that the worst part of dog running is not knowing exactly what it was. Drives you crazy, especially when you're in bad country and you have no track.
Yep.
You know, I guess it'd be like a squirrel dog treeing, and you cannot find that damn squirrel. And you're like, what is he doing? And it drives you crazy.
You know, that's the hard part about the early season with the leaves on and everything, trying to start a dog, because if the dog gets treed, you may never even find it. So you have no idea if it's up there or if it's not up there. I always think about that a lot too with what you guys got. I said over here with what we do, it's so I think it's so much easier. The dogs I know, like my tree and cur, if he's moving and he's opening, it's more than likely a rabbit. So squirrel, he's gonna bark on, or if he catches a stump on the ground, you know, he'll come back to me. But like you guys, you know, you turn something loose, and obviously the caliber of the dog tell you, but I can imagine turning a squirrel dog loose and going, I hope he gets on that squirrel.
Well, like, man, I'm gonna tell you, the GPS, those Garmin's, they will, if you pay attention to everything, you'll learn. And I've learned off my Garmin if it's a bear, coyote, lion, deer. Like you can tell. Like Yucky was running something yesterday, and he went up to the top of the hill. They went up to the top of the hill, did a circle, went down, and that bear did 2 circles. And they'll do those big circles, and those dogs will run around and lose them. And Yucky, he's not like Dirty. Dirty was way with me on another side. And if Dirty would have been there, he probably would have figured it out. But Yucky didn't figure it out. So, but you watch and how they run. You know, if they're running straight, it's probably an elk or deer or coyote, you know. But them deer or them bear, they'll run a certain way, and you know it's a bear. So, but you got to pay attention to your dogs, plain and simple. You know, you got to really pay attention to them. And every dog's different. So when you got one dog working one way, you're like, no, that's a bear. Or, no, you better stop it. I got kept opening up yesterday. I'm like, you better stop it. If I tell her to stop it, she'll stop it. You know, but if it's on something and I tell her to stop it, she'll keep going. I'm like, okay, it's probably what it's supposed to be. So,
Yeah.
but they
I
just
think
want to
that's
hunt.
yeah, I think that's the funnest part is learning a dog. And okay, that bark, you know, that bark means one thing. That bark, okay, she's on something here. You know, it's all about learning your dog, and every dog's different. They're gonna have different tones for different things. Some are gonna be flashy, and you got to break them off. Some of them end up just being no business from the start, or all from the start. And that's what separates a good dog man from somebody that just has dogs is being able to read a dog. It's art.
Trying to get a picture here. I get a picture of a coon and some real coon dogs. Let me pull it up so I can share it. Where am I at?
Did you see
There.
Mike Leonard, speaking of coon dogs? Did you see Mike Leonard's post on that Floyd guy from way back in the day with the hound dogs?
What were they doing?
Floyd had that. Mike Leonard had that old picture on Facebook of Floyd and his dogs and a lion.
Uh-uh.
And Floyd was a lion hunter like back in the 1960s. Do you remember it, Chase?
No, I missed it.
Oh, that was the most coon-footed dog I have ever. His toes must have been 2 inches long. I mean, he looked like a coonfoot, and he just
The
looked
hound dog
terrible.
did?
Yeah, it just looked terrible. The feet
You
on
know,
him. I mean,
my Yucky dog, everybody, I was talking about, someone's like, oh, that cropped out looking big footed dog. He's like, yeah, that dog will go forever. He will
Yeah.
not get sore feet. Yell at dogs. But he goes forever. Goes forever. He don't stop. And he'll run out, and next day I'll run him again. No problem. I've never had him limp.
yeah.
And he's the ugliest, bowed out, bad
Yeah.
conformation dog.
Yep.
So
Kind of like Grandpa said, looks don't make them hunt.
nope, I'm gonna share a screen right here. Oh, let me find it here. You guys ready for a real coon hunter?
Yeah.
Pose.
There you go. Can you see it?
Oh shoot.
With
All
your
right.
Labradors.
Nice.
There you go, Autumn Oaks. What do you got now? Yep. Let me get out of here. How do I get out of here? There we go. Tim sent me a picture too. Let me try to get it up. It finally came through. My internet's being silly. Said he had a coon dog. Let me see what it is. Oh, here's another coon dog. Here we go. Present. Share screen. There you go. Oh, squirrel dog. That's his squirrel dog. Sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah, got squirrel right there.
Yeah.
That one right here looks a little lax. Thought it was a
Yep.
cat at first.
That was a dog.
Yeah.
I hit the dog. That was Tim Brent. So,
My buddy used to give me a hard time. We'd go coon hunting together, and he had this little beagle, and I had my walker dogs. And every now and then we'd catch a line on the ground, in a culvert or dead tree, laid over tree, and my walker dogs were just shredded. And then I'd yell at them, get out of it, and they'd come to me, and I'm looking for a 4-foot, 10-foot piece of barbed wire to pull that coon out. Wrap the hair up in the barbed wire and pull it out. And my buddy's freaking beagle would grab that thing and retrieve it and bring it back to him. And he gave me such a hard time over that. And he's like, "Your dogs are so dumb. They'll kill. They won't bring nothing back." And I'd be like, "Just shut up. I don't want to hear it."
that's funny. Well, Dandy says, I thought he was leaving, but then he updated, said the East Coast is gone now. So,
How bad?
Yeah,
is
I've got a friend in Bradenton, man. They got hit pretty bad right there at Tampa. And she said that with what's coming, if it comes a quarter or half of what they're projecting, she said it's going to be even worse for them.
yeah. I feel bad for them guys. Like I said, if anybody knows any good charities that aren't crap,
Well, it's hard because they're shutting everything down.
yeah, I know. I know. So, well, guys, it's been
You know,
2 hours.
There's a bunch of mule packers going in. I haven't heard them.
I
shut
heard
the
that.
mule-
Going
they
into the
haven't
Appalachians, right? Taking them
Yeah.
supplies.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
seen
haven't
some
heard of them
videos.
shutting the packers down, but I don't know.
I don't think you can shut them guys down. I think they're going to go in one way or another somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet to me. Love you even if you don't realize it. Well, guys, I think I'm going to make me some dinner in 2 hours.
There you go.
So we talked about squirrels. We talked about conspiracy theories in the government.
We actually stayed on topic.
We did stay on topic. That's crazy. I don't know what happened. And my dogs are getting restless. So thanks for coming on, Mr. Chris and Zach.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you inviting us on. It was fun.
Yep. Chris said
This
you
is-
gotta get away from them stupid lion hunters.
That's right.
That's all you guys is dumb lion hunters. It's time to talk about some real hunters.
I'm jealous, man. I really wish I was still out west. That's for sure.
You can send any money to TL. I'll reach out to TL. I've talked to him. I'll reach out to him and see what he got, and we can start posting some stuff. It's like a house fire, man. You come home, your house is burnt, everything's gone. You're like, I don't think the majority of people anywhere, unless you're filthy rich, has the funds to replace everything.
No.
You know what I heard is a lot of people didn't have flood insurance. Like I know where I live, even though we've got a river in the backyard, there's a pretty steep bank getting down to it, but we don't have the ability to get flood insurance. So just like them, everything's gone. You don't have insurance. It's a whole different ball game.
Oh, yeah. Well, the problem with insurance when you have these big payouts like this, it ain't happening tomorrow.
No.
I don't know how they don't bankrupt these guys, but I don't know. I'm not an insurance guy. So I don't know. Pay all them taxes your whole life and something like this happens and $750 you can pay back later.
Don't forget, it's a loan.
Mm-hmm. So I hear.
Slap in the face.
Right.
All it is.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Robert,
Thanks, Chris.
we got a sweater on for Robert. We got a hoodie on.
It's 51 degrees here right now.
What is it?
Yeah,
What
see?
is it here? What is it in Tucson, Jared?
I'd be wearing 2 sweatshirts by now.
Our
Yeah,
our
it's-
low or our low yesterday morning was 27 degrees.
I'm out. No.
66 degrees here. Kind of warm tonight.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds lovely.
all righty. Well, I appreciate it on.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for having
Jared?
me on again.
Yep. See you guys later.
See ya.
Yep. See you guys.
It's nice talking with y'all.
Yep.
Yep.
See ya.
It's kind of like that phone hang up thing. I'm waiting for you to hang up.